Call meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Welcome everybody to the December 10th meeting of the Rhinebeck Village Board. First item on the agenda is our county legislator, Joel Timer.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
You're welcome.
I have handouts. I apologize to you and everybody else. The reason why I couldn't be here last month was it was a meeting of the county legislature. So usually it's not the second Tuesday, but that's what it was last month. There is another meeting, the last meeting of the year for the Dutchess County Legislature is coming up this coming Monday, the 16th at 6 p.m. I'm hoping, because it was not all 25 of us, but it was bipartisan. There was support for a couple amendments that I made to the budget last Thursday night, $10,000 extra to make sure that homeless people aren't turned away from shelter this winter. Some veterans have already been turned away in the last month or two. $20,000 for the Cornell Cooperative Extension Green Team Community Gardening Program to come back to the city of Poughkeepsie. So I'm just inviting you and everybody watching, listening, this coming Monday, the 16th at 6 p.m. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, whatever, feel free to come and speak. That's on the 6th floor of the county office building, 22 Market Street in Poughkeepsie, kind of opposite the Bardavon there. Today is Human Rights Day. Today is actually the 65th anniversary of the United Nations General Assembly adopting the Universal Declaration of Human Rights that Eleanor Roosevelt, right here in Dutchess County, drafted. And one of the articles in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights talks about housing. So I'm just asking us to keep that in mind. There's lots of pretty Hanukkah and Christmas lights around, and to make sure that homeless people aren't turned away from shelter. The phone number for the county executive is 486-2000. He was talking to some reporters last week about, this may have been an end run around the new competitive grant process for nonprofits. That may be so, but I just don't want to see homeless folks, especially veterans, turned away from shelter. There's a dynamite letter to the editor in today's Poughkeepsie Journal from Walt Jablonski, so I urge you to pick up the paper and take a look at it if you haven't. And if you have not taken a look at the Dutchess County Criminal Justice Council report that came last November, I understand people may think that, and some people are saying that there's no way to avoid that energy tax. I mean, the headline in the Poughkeepsie Journal over the last week was, I think maybe Saturday was, energy tax, critical, crucial part of budget. It is for some people, but it didn't have to be that way. It's kind of a false choice. It didn't have to be this new energy tax, a $7.8 million hit on senior citizens, working families, or a hike in the property taxes for the county. It didn't have to be that way. It's my understanding that Dutchess County Association of Supervisors and Mayors in the last couple of weeks passed a resolution 11-1 saying we're not thrilled, we don't like this new energy tax on people in Dutchess County. So the reason why I bring up the Dutchess County Criminal Justice Council report, there are about 50-60 women in the county jail. There's about 50-60 mentally ill in the county jail. There's about 20 youth in the county jail. The CJC report says, let's try transitional housing alternatives. July 22nd, Poughkeepsie Journal by Sarah Bradshaw pointed out the National Institute of Correction, transitional halfway houses for state parole violators that are violated for teeny tiny little infractions could cost us $65 a day as opposed to $300 a day being housed in the Hotel Hamilton, the 150 Hamilton Street, the Dutchess County Jail. So we could, frankly, if we just embraced the non-jail expansion components of the Dutchess County Criminal Justice Council report from last year, if we just embraced that half, we would literally save $8, $9, $10 million a year. If you go to rightoncrime.com, I'm not a huge fan of Jeb Bush or Grover Norquist or Newt Gingrich. What do those three guys have in common? They're part of this rightoncrime.com movement. There's Republicans and conservatives all across the country that have looked at the model of Texas, and Texas is doing something right, where they're saving a lot of money for taxpayers, moving away from prison and jail expansion, really investing in parole and probation supervision. We just had Sinterklaas this past Saturday. And the reason why I passed that out is because the unemployment rate around here is still about double what it was 5-6 years ago, and that would be a win-win. There was a report that came out in March of this year from Cornell and Stanford, and it's the only report of its kind anywhere in the country. New York State could be 100% fossil fuel free, no coal, no oil, no nuclear, no need for these new overhead nasty power lines. no fracking from natural gas, moving towards wind, water, and sunlight. And it would create 4.5 million new permanent green construction jobs and 58,000 permanent green construction jobs. It's thesolutionsproject.org, that's the website, and I gave you guys a flyer. We're doing a big rally on the walkway of the Hudson Sunday, January 5th at 2 p.m. So I just thought I'd invite everybody. The only other thing I was going to say is the last thing that Dutchess County needs is any more federal cuts to food stamps or people being thrown off the unemployment lines, long-term unemployed. So there's a number for Congress. It's 1-800-826-3688. I'm at 876-2488 or 453-2105. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, you can always reach out to me.
Thanks, Joe. Yep. Okay, next item on the agenda, department reports, wastewater grant.
In November's report, we had 3.3 million gallons of wastewater treated, 41,109 gallons of sludge processed, 5,498 pounds of sludge processed. Quiet month. We had replaced the variable frequency drive in the sludge press. It was still under warranty. Of course, that's relatively new, that sludge press. It's still working fine, the replaced item. And we have a redundant that was shipped to us as well, so we're optimistic about that. We've ordered and received the last, in the 5-year capital plan, we're going to replace all the influent pumps, pretty much right when I started here on the board, and we've ordered and gotten into the last one to replace, so we'll keep the one that's functioning now as a backup for perhaps the hospital lift station. So that's about all I have to report this month.
Okay, thank you. Water department, Heinz.
We treated 11,245,000 gallons of water. We also trained and cleaned the settling tanks and block tanks, that happens about every two or three times a year. I was there a couple of weeks ago in the water plant. When I was there, we had a visit of Cub Scouts. We had about 15 Cub Scouts there, and they were really interested in the water plants. We took them around, and at the end of it, they made a card for Tom Wallbank, thank you card, and so on. It was really very nice. Next thing I want to talk about is I had reported to you a number of times over the last 4 weeks that I have a squirrel infestation in the annex, and as a result of that, we also have a waterlogged insulation that's hanging down and needs to be replaced. To do that, I got requested 5 quotes. 2 people didn't respond. One of them said he couldn't do it, he was too busy. The other 2 bidders were cutting-edge spray foam services, and one other company that was quite a bit higher. But they wanted to do this job for $8,669. The reason I bring it up here is because that is an unplanned activity, and I need to take this money from the fund balance, and I think I need your approval to transfer the money for the fund balance. I want to make a motion to transfer $8,669.10 from the fund balance to fix the insulation. Insulation is going to be done next week.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
I just have a question on the 2 estimates there. The one was
9,000.
William, one was 4 inches thick.
No, they're both the same.
The one from U.S. Insulation Corp says 4.5 R31, and the one from Cutting Edge is 4 inches thick at an R value of 26.
Yeah, that's plus and minus something. They're all the same foams. They are closed cell foam.
So just a ½ inch less of it.
No, they're both 4 inches. They're both 4 inches.
Well, that's not what the estimate says. That's what I'm asking. And that would probably explain the additional 5 on our scale, another ½ inch.
Hang on a second.
Cutting edge is 4 inches, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it says 4.5 inches, right?
This is 4 inches, gives the R value of 26.
Approximately, yeah.
This one does 4.5, R35.
Right, right. But I decided to take the one that's smaller one.
So your recommendation is to go with cutting edge.
Cutting edge, right.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor of awarding the bid to Cutting Edge Spray Foam Services signify by saying aye, please. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So voted.
I have one question, Jim, I need to.
Okay, so now you have to make a motion to transfer the funds.
Oh, I thought
We awarded the bid.
I.
Now you have to make a motion to transfer the funds.
I want to make the motion to transfer 8,600 $69 from the fund balance, from the water department fund balance to pay for this.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted.
I assume I'm going to sign this and send it in with the estimate. I do have certificates of insurance for
Yes.
this company. We replaced, I want to talk about the water distribution system. We replaced a broken fire hydrant on Blood Avenue. That's the second one that we replaced in a matter of a couple of months. And that one actually blew up. We performed additional flow tests on Mill Street, at Mill Street and South Street and on Blood Avenue, in addition to what I said to you a month ago in that report. I requested tax maps, high-resolution tax maps from the county planning department for the hamlet of Rhinebeck, and I want to do the same thing in terms of laying in water lines, the size of the water lines, and the hydrants and the water valves that we did for the town, for the village of Rhinebeck. I'm supposed to get that in the next couple of weeks. Water department, Brian Elix will have completed 3 months probationary period on December 12th. Brian is a hardworking and intelligent young man and works well in the department. Everybody likes him, and he's really very nice, very good. Tom Walbank and I propose to make Brian a regular trainee employee as of December 13th. That's when these 3 months are over. December 13th, 2013, with the objective for him to become a certified 2A water plant operator by September 2014. I assume I have to make a motion to change his status on the 13th, even though today is only the 10th. Okay. So I want to make a motion to make Brian Ehrlich a regular trainee employee as of December 2013, with the objective for December 13th, 2013, with the objective.
That's all you need.
Okay.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
These two.
Uh,
So voted.
Tony Fada, the current trainee in the water department, passes to a water plant operator test. His paperwork has been filed, and we expect him to get his certificate mailed. As soon as we have his certificate in hand, I will make a motion to make him a certified operator. Electric power reduction initiative. I sent you a copy of the Medina Electric printout. We saved we generated 1,500 kilowatt hours in November. We consumed 4,280 kilowatt hours, a nominal saving of $284 in that low radiation time frame. Talked to Mark Malpeter from Central Hudson, and they exchanged 65% of the regular lamps with hydrogen sodium regular lamps.
How many times?
65% of off 160 when we asked them to do it. I actually saw them work on Millwood and South Street.
I gotta get the pole number. There was a street light on Chestnut Street that's not working properly. It goes on and off, you know.
Okay, is it yellow or is it a greenish looking color?
I don't know, it went out, so I couldn't tell.
You said it was on and off.
I was leaving the house to go home one morning and it shut off while I was driving down the street.
That is all I have.
Are the yellowish looking ones the older one? So they haven't.
No, the yellowish looking one, the sodium lamps, that's the one we're replacing it with because they consume a lot less power. And also less to, cost less money to rent. Well, no, they're the green, the bluish green ones.
But they're brighter. It's not as, it's whiter.
No, they have the same,
yellow,
they have
right?
the same lumens out, but they just.
Yeah, what I'm saying is one looks yellow, the
Yellow,
other one looks whiter.
white, yes.
So the new ones are whiter or yellow?
No,
Yellow.
yellow.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Rich. All right, next item is fire department. Pete?
All right. Call report for last month was, for EMS, 21 in the town, 18 in the village, for a total of 39. Fire, 14 in the town, 6 in the village, for a total of 20. Motor vehicle, 9 in the town, 1 in the village, for a total of 10, with a total of 44 for the town, 25 for the village, and a grand total of 69 for the month of November, which also happens to be the year in total, counting from there to November. They start on November 1st. We started tracking mutual aid calls for the beginning of their year. There were 0 to Rhinecliff, 4 to Hillside, and 4 other, which were Milan and Red Hook. Other things going on there, the gear dryer, as the electric's been run for that, it's installed, it's operational. I saw it in operation this afternoon. In terms of the membership, they transitioned seven members over the after last month. 5 of those are no longer with the department, and 2 have transitioned to active life or associate members. So the total active firefighters now are 48, with a total number members of 109. I did get a little bit of a report on Santa Claus in terms from the fire department perspective. They had no problems. There was only 1 call that day, which was unrelated to the event. It was a motor vehicle outside of town. But they did log 130 man hours from 26 volunteers that were here at the firehouse all day on standby. A couple other things we talked about during the month. We met with a group in regards to a length of service awards program, which is kind of like an incentive retirement plan for volunteers. I just thought I'd mention it. You know, it needs some work before we would roll out all the details, but basically, 20 years of service, creditable service with, meeting certain criteria, you'd get some kind of benefit later on. And Jim was at that meeting as well. They did have a couple, I did hear a couple of issues in terms of, safety issues around the village, and one is right out here in front of the fire department. I've actually personally seen it now on 2 occasions, one where the truck's backing in, someone's trying to drive around it as it's backing in, and actually Santa Claus is crowded out here, and I just happened to be in the corner again. They're pulling out, and cars would not yield to the fire truck with the lights on, sirens, air horns, cars still going by. So there's been, even prior to that, they were talking about what the potential would be for some kind of traffic light or something that will stop traffic, like you see in front of some other fire departments. A lot of times it's a flashing light until, the alarm goes off, then traffic stops so they can enter and exit.
Do they have any statistics, documentation? Because that's what DOT is going to be looking for.
The only statistics that I can reference would be the number of calls per year, which has been increasing steadily.
What I would suggest is that DOT is going to want an explanation for the need for a change, and without some type of documentation. And when I say
documentation, the best thing you could have is if somebody fails to yield or, recognize the signals of these fire trucks. They need to get, if they can, plate numbers, and the police department needs to ticket these individuals. And that way we can say to DOT, okay, on X number of occasions, we've had a problem here where people have failed to yield. DOT is really strong on making changes without proper documentation. And a lot of the training seminars I've gone through Cornell Local Program, Cornell Local Roads Program says that whenever you want to propose something like this, you need to have some type of case to back it up. So that's what I would suggest.
Yeah, we'll take that, back.
Okay.
I have a question. You said you had 109 people now? 106?
109 members.
109 total members, yeah.
Is that sort of stable, or is that fluctuating?
There was a drop off, and actually I think that's fairly stable. The key number, because that includes associate members and life members, which don't they don't contribute to the firefighting capabilities of the department. So that number, even though you have 48 active, I've been told, which I said last month, there's about 30 who are regular responders.
So we didn't see a drop off in volunteers?
Well, the number fluctuates because what
Yeah.
happens is some people don't meet their requirements, so they leave the department, and then you have new members that come in. So it never stays a constant number, really. On average, probably goes around 100 members. Yeah.
And they did recover from the people that left. I guess probably about 80% of the equipment has been returned. So that was a concern at one time. People leave and they never collect all of that equipment. So they're working on that.
All right. You got anything else, Heath?
I have a question about the town budget. Did we hear?
No, that was what I was going to address if Heath was done.
Yeah.
I was going to bring everybody up to speed.
Yep.
You're all done?
Yeah, I'll save the next one for highway department.
Okay. All right. I attended the town board meeting last night, and for two reasons. One was for the discussion about the change for the assessor's position. And I'll discuss that more at length in planning and zoning. And also to talk with them about the police and fire contracts. And you folks had approved me sending these contracts to the town and signing them on behalf of the village. So last night at the town board meeting, I had a discussion with them and said, we were here in October. We had made a proposal to you for the contract for 2014. And, your budget process was underway. I know Bruce had some requests from Heath for some information, and Heath facilitated that, and we never heard anything back from you in relation to the contract. And I note in your budget that you haven't funded the fire line item in the budget as the contract specifies. I said, my question is, do you have any intention of signing the contract? Well, you could have heard a pin drop. And then Tommy Trout said, well, Jim, I'm willing to sign the contract. Of course, the board has to authorize that. So Elizabeth Spenzi said, well, Jim, we just met with our attorney in executive session prior to this meeting, and we were hoping that we can sit down with you and we can talk and negotiate. And I said, quite frankly, Elizabeth, in my opinion, there's no room for negotiation here. We've detailed, we did a 3-year analysis of what our call volume and our call response is, and based on our findings, it's proven that over the last 3 years, 52% of the call volume is in the town of Rhinebeck, and 48% is in the village, and that's how we broke this all out. So, Gina Fox made the comment that it was a drastic increase, and I said, well, Gina, nobody ever did a close analysis of the fire department prior, and I can't speak to prior mayors or fire department liaisons liaisons, but over the last 3 years, this is what we've established. And quite frankly, I said, you know, we gave you the information, and I guess in your budget process, you didn't utilize it. And we never heard anything from you. And now here we are, when you're telling me you met an executive session with an attorney and you want to negotiate, and I don't understand what's going on here. So basically my feeling is they didn't want to address it during their budget process. So where does that leave us right now? I guess from what I've heard is that they're suggesting that we let the contract ride for a month or two and sit down and discuss this and try and work it out. And quite frankly, I'm not willing to accept that, because they had at least 5 weeks to consider this in their budget process. Their budget was not due until December. They neglected to do so. They never came to us and requested a meeting with us. They never asked for any more information other than the information that Heath had provided. And now they want us to continue with a contract that we in fact know is costing our taxpayers in the village money to offset the town contract. I'm livid about this whole thing. And to me, if this is the way that the town board wants to cooperate with the village of Rhinebeck, things don't bode well here at all. So I've been in, that's mine. Rich Olson did have a conversation with Warren Raplansky. Hopefully he will come over from town hall before we adjourn, and he will fill us in on his.
I'm not sure why we need lawyers to talk about this, but we just need to take a proportional reduction in coverage and just say, okay, well, if the fraction is 145,000 over 186,000 or whatever, then we'll reduce our coverage by that much, and they can shop it somewhere else.
How do you reduce the coverage? We're going to end up out in a mutual aid situation anyway, Brent. You know,
What?
We're going to end up in a mutual aid situation.
What do you mean?
Because if we're not doing the coverage and a fire alarm goes out, we're going to respond under mutual
Well, we
aid.
have to sit down and just tell them that these are the areas we're not going to cover anymore because you're not paying for it. I don't think I would think this would be an illegal gift to the town from those taxpayers.
That's what I would
I
think.
mean,
also.
we're just trying to do this the right way. The last thing we want is this, you know? I just don't know what else we could do.
Like I said, let's let Rich fill us in when he comes back, and we'll go from there. But clearly, in my mind, there's no call for what's happened here. Anything else on fire? Okay. Street Department. Howard.
Well, we have a very small report here, but they've been working very hard.
It's true.
We've been picking up the leaves and the brush, and obviously today with the snow, they started sanding and plowing. And they did the maintenance on the sanding and plowing equipment, so it's all ready. And they will continue to pick up. There's a few piles of leaves laying around still, which they can find because it's not too much snow, but they'll pick them up, and that should end in a week, the leaf pickup. I don't think anybody else is raking any more leaves now. And that's it for the highway department.
How I have a question about leaf and brush pickup in the future. Is there a way that we can tell the people we do it every other week, or, you know, in the south side and the north side, so
We
so
tried
we
to.
know, so we know, you know.
You can tell them all you want, Heinz. They don't care. You go down the road and you pick the stuff up, and then within an hour, somebody's back there putting stuff out right behind you. Something we wrestle with all the time.
We have a unique situation. We're one of the few villages that picks up the brush
Right.
on a regular basis. Red Hook, you have to bring it to a certain spot on a certain day of the month,
Rhinebeck Village has pickup.
not on a full-time basis like we do.
They have it during the spring, summer, and fall, every other Monday, I think it is. It changed over it used to be that you had to bring it, but it's not the case anymore.
Is there a limitation on what you can leave though?
It's like a 3 by 3 or 6 by, I
Right,
forget what
see,
the
that's-
measurement is, you know. But you can do it every week or every other week, I forget how it is.
We don't have that limitation.
No.
Well, it's supposed to be in 4-foot lengths, but, you know,
That stuff, yeah, we have the limit on
the brush.
Yeah.
And there's a fine if it isn't, if it's oversized. So, most of the time, it's not an issue for us, but, you know, it's one of those things where we go through and we clean the street up, and within an hour, somebody's back out and putting stuff out.
You know,
But
we'll do that.
but
springtime, there's piles of brush on the roads all over.
It's unsightly, it really is.
Imagine if we didn't pick it up at all.
Would you like to
It
step
really
up to the
is.
mic?
Sure, I just had a question.
I spoke to the Red Hook guys about 2 months ago. They must have just started this new plan.
I started in the spring, I think, but, I don't know. Sarah Bunn from The Observer. Are you gonna have Christmas tree pickup?
Oh, yeah, we have that too.
Okay, so when does that, what's the info on that? We're doing something in the
Well,
paper.
that usually lasts for about 8 months.
Right. So will it
We
be
usually
the same
find
as your
Christmas
usual
trees in
brush
August.
pickup, I guess, is what I'm wondering.
Yeah, but there's Christmas, usually the
Yeah.
2 weeks after Christmas is.
Right, so
not
out
too
on the
late.
curb, same time. you
Yeah, we
do.
don't have a specific date.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you don't, but you have a normal day that you do brush pickup though, right?
Want to close my
That's-
question?
No, not really.
Day of the week?
No.
Oh, okay, all right.
Every day of the week.
What happens with the Christmas trees usually, Sarah, is, there's the people that throw them out the back door and
Sure.
don't get around to putting them out to the curbside
Till
until
June,
about
yeah.
June or July.
No, but I'd welcome any ideas here on how to work on this brush situation. We used to say on Panda here, that every other week, we're gonna do north side, south side, but,
And that's basically how we do it.
yeah. But people put their stuff out because they're so busy with life, as you said. They just put it out there, it's
They
out there
don't
all
have
the time.
every other Sunday to put 14 hours in the yard. You can spread it out.
Right.
I think if we had different equipment, we could do it, we could do it all the time.
So what are you suggesting?
Well, something that doesn't require 2 backhoes and the truck, something either with a loader to put in the truck or the clamshell, so one guy can operate it with the thing. So maybe you reduce it from an 8-guy crew down to a 2-guy crew, and they could roll pretty much all the time and clean it up.
Well, where Heath used to live, that's what they had a
Yeah.
special, he looked into it. He's
Yeah.
still gonna look into
I
it.
got some specs on
Yeah.
it.
They have a truck with a gravel
clamshell,
truck on it.
yeah, the guy gets out, he has a handheld remote, he lowers it, picks it up, puts it in the truck, drives off, breaks up
It's
any,
like the things the guys use on the lug trucks.
similar,
It's
yeah,
just-
it's more like a clamshell, so it closes at the bottom, so pick up any.
Yeah, we need to do something.
Yeah.
And they just throw around
All about money.
constantly, especially on, when you live out in the outskirts of the village, they don't come quite as often.
Okay, so maybe we'll have a summit on that.
I like that so much.
A summit.
Using those $10 words like
Yeah,
that.
yes. Been watching a lot of TV. Okay, that's it for the highway department. Any other questions?
Yes.
Yeah.
Generator?
Yeah, I have that.
This generator?
Yes.
We talking about that tonight?
If you'd like to talk about it.
The trailer bids, where is that on open now, or?
He only got one trailer bid.
Okay, talk about later.
Yeah.
There's only one bid for the generator too, right?
Yeah, well, Protective Power is the company that we use, does all the maintenance on our highway.
I got 2 copies of those.
So we got 2 bids?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think that,
different dates though.
that covers the procurement policy.
Okay, we have 2 bids here. One from Protective Power. Both of them, right?
Yeah, they're
Okay. So make a motion to
Yeah.
accept this bid?
Where's the other,
Service, right?
which one is the other bid?
We only have one. Protective Power is the company that maintains the generator for us.
So I make a motion to accept this bid from Protective Power to maintain the generator outside here for $770.
Is there a second?
I second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? So voted. Okay, under street department, I have one thing. You all up?
Yeah?
I met with Tom Maddox, finally down at the bridge,
Thank you.
okay? And he has drafted a letter, so I'll read this letter to you. And then I'm putting this in the form of a motion to send this to DOT. So I need your approval for this to go to DOT. All right? This is going to Bill Gordon, who's the regional director, engineer at the office down Dear Mr. Gordon, this is a pedestrian bridge. There is a pedestrian bridge over Landsman Kill Creek, adjacent to a vehicular culvert that carries Route 9 traffic over the same creek. The pedestrian bridge is approximately 30 feet long from abutment to abutment, and the vehicular culvert is less than 20 feet. I am aware that normal maintenance of surface drainage on state highways in a village usually is the responsibility of the village. This pedestrian bridge is separate from the highway culvert and much longer than the culvert. Therefore, it is a bridge. Also, this particular bridge is of the age and character that it could easily qualify for inclusion in the National Historic Register. The walkway or sidewalk along this section of Route 9 only exists on the east side of the road with no walk on the west side, so any closing of the bridge will force pedestrians out onto the shoulder and roadway of Route 9. The American Legion Park is immediately to the north of the bridge, and the Pastor Children's Home is across from the bridge. The state contract for work in the vicinity of the highway culvert installed new box beam rail and modified some drainage that has impacted the pedestrian bridge. Apparently, the contractor rerouted some surface drainage, paved some shoulders, placed pipes under the pedestrian bridge to the stream. The result of the guide rail foundation work, rerouting of highway surface and some surface drainage and some approach sidewalk patching, the upstream side slopes of the pedestrian bridge have scoured out and partially collapsed. This collapse has also affected the northerly span of the pedestrian bridge, causing the sidewalk to tilt and creating a tripping hazard. Both approach sidewalk railings have also been dislodged from its underlaying. I requested the damage to the bridge and side slopes be either fixed under your present guide rail contract, other available emergency contract, or by your in-house maintenance forces. The present condition, if left unattended, will cause additional damage to the structure and force the closing of this walkway. That's in the form of a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Is that, you're gonna sign that?
Yes. This is a letter from me to Ongo Village letterhead to them. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Can I just add something on that bridge? The erosion on the north end of it, I don't know if it's grown or it's just more evident now because of that brush that's gone. But I think we maybe need a temporary snow fence or something in there. I watched a woman with a baby carriage in the dark after the tree lighting out here. There was people coming northbound on the walkway, on the pedestrian bridge. So she pulled off to the side with her baby carriage. You know, couldn't see that the ground just disappears in front of there. You know.
So you're suggesting something that would keep people from getting off the sidewalk?
Yeah, because I mean, even though you have the erosion, where the guardrail is, it goes another maybe 10 feet where it is dropped. I mean, it starts out as, you know, maybe a foot or something, and then just increases as you get closer to the bridge. It's like, just like rubble down
I'll
through there.
go around and take a look at it. Maybe we'll get together with Mike.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Got that trailer thing.
And I have one more on unrelated to the bridge, but another highway issue.
Here's my trailer stuff.
Okay. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
The crosswalk by Terrapin, this has probably been addressed before, but
Yes.
the length of the no parking to the north on the westbound side.
You mean, westbound?
I'm sorry, on the western side of the road,
The Don Waterhouse side?
yes.
Yes.
So, you know, I've heard some complaints that the cars, even though the yellow curb still doesn't leave enough room for line of sight when you're coming southbound on Route 9. You can't see people, you know, if it was another car,
It was all-
they'd lose a parking spot.
It was all constructed to ADA standards. That I can tell you.
Yeah. I mean, I'd heard that, and then since I've been driving it, you know, taking a closer look, it is hard to see what's, if there's people standing there, if there's a car parked in that first spot. That's the only place I've noticed that. I don't know.
I mean, we can extend it, but we're gonna lose a parking spot.
Exactly, so I just thought I'd bring it up. So, when I heard it, seemed like a valid observation.
There was a tree there that we cut down to gain more sight there.
Yeah, I remember talking in the past, so.
Is that it on that?
Yeah, that's it.
Otherwise, the signs look good. The
on street department.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, planning and zoning. We have received a letter from John Fenton, our new zoning enforcement officer. And Bob Fennell was always paid quarterly. I guess that's just the way Bob preferred to be paid. And John is requesting that it be changed to, I guess, monthly or bi-weekly. Bi-weekly is how everybody else is paid, right, Pat?
Correct,
So it would probably be easier for you if it was just done bi-weekly, right?
yes.
Yeah. So I'll make a motion that we change John to a bi-weekly pay period.
Second.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
If it's okay with Pat, it's okay with me.
Good thing you're here, Pat.
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
I have one question, when will that commence? Starting with December 13th?
That's up to you to figure out. Whatever works out for you. You're the one doing it.
And starting with December 13th.
Okay. So we voted, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is anybody opposed?
No.
Okay. So voted. 47 West Market Street, of course, the public hearing is continuing across the street tonight. And another witness was to testify this evening. A lady from Dutchess County Mental Health that kind of oversees it was due to come back in. She was there last night, but I'd left early. Rich will be coming over here after that. Anybody have any questions regarding planning and zoning?
I just wanted to set up a date for that events code public hearing.
Well, we can't really move forward until we have the zoning secret prepared. You know, we gotta do the two together. So we're waiting on the secret.
Neil's doing the,
He's supposed to be doing the part one. I talked to Andy last week, and he was gonna reach out to Neil again.
well, I mean, we could set it up in the future, I don't
I've
know.
been pushing it,
Yeah,
you know. I'll touch base with him again and see where they're at.
we could set it for early February if you want, you should be done by then, right?
Well, we have to make sure that we got the secret in order to be able to move forward, so I'm hoping. You know, once we have that, then we need to get all the information out to the public.
Yeah.
We'll give them a chance to look at it.
But we don't have too many, I mean, I had that simple revision of the definition of event, and Heinz had an inclusion, and we're satisfied from the task force with the zoning district language, so we really don't have a lot, unless Holly
Yeah, just wanted to
throws
make,
a wrench in everything.
I just want to make it.
He's a rabble.
You know. No,
And when do you plan on making these comments?
this weekend.
Prior?
This weekend.
Oh, okay.
I'll send all you guys an email.
Okay.
Now that Santa Claus
You
is
use
done.
email?
Yeah, now that Santa Claus is over.
I didn't think you used email.
Oh, yes, of course I do. I'd rather speak to you personally though.
But you heard the amount of calls were way down because of Santa Claus. Maybe we ought to have Santa Claus every day.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Can you?
Get right on that.
You're the one who's dancing around for 5 hours. Can you take that?
Yeah, probably
Never
not.
saw him smile like that.
Probably not.
I think Jarvis was the only big smile.
Okay, so planning and zoning, we're all done?
Yeah.
Yes.
Police and court. Speaking of Santa Claus, it was a great day. We didn't have any problems to speak of. As Heath had said, there was one motor vehicle accident unrelated to Santa Claus earlier in the day. The fire company had to respond to. As far as the change we had made kind of at the 11th hour with East Market Street, and we put the signs up on Wednesday that there would be no parking after 3 p.m. Basically, at 3 o'clock, all but 3 cars were out of there. And by 3:30, 2 were moved, and at 3:30, I had instructed Pete to go ahead and call a tow truck, which they did. You know, they go by the state police list, and whoever was first on the list was called. The tow truck came, was getting ready to hook on the vehicle, and the owner showed up. And was upset because her car was being towed. Well, clearly, there were no parking signs on either end of the car. From what we were told by the people at the soccer table in front of the bistro, that she got out of the car at 2:15 and asked if she could park there, and they said, yeah, but the cars are gonna be towed at 3, and she said, oh, I'll be back. 4:15 is when she showed up, so she ended up getting a ticket and having to pay the toll fee. But that's the only problem we had on East Market Street, and believe it or not, once it cleared at 3 o'clock like that, nobody else attempted to park there. Howie and I were standing around, Pete was down there for a while, we were just kind of monitoring it to make sure that people didn't park, so. Apparently the press releases helped, the signs helped, and it went very smoothly.
And we had a record, must have had a record number of people here.
Oh, it was a big crowd. It was a big crowd. And one of my concerns, of course, having to deal with the police all the time, is that last year the parade moved very slowly. There was a stop over on West Market Street last year for whatever reason we don't know. It took nearly an hour and 40 minutes for that parade to clear the red light last year. This year they cleared the red light in an hour and 7 minutes.
That's good.
So we closed Route 9 at 5:45 instead of 5:30. And the parade kicked off from the Star Library at 6:05. And it cleared the traffic light by 6:53. And I think Pete said, because I was at the red light, Pete said the end of the parade got into the municipal parking lot at, I think, 7:08 or something like that, 7:07. So all in all, it went very smoothly. I want to thank the organizers for their cooperation, moving the parade along more quickly, because it definitely is a big, big concern, closing Route 9 down for a long period of time like that. Basically, we had a very, very good day, very fortunate, thankful for that.
Oh, that's good news.
Yeah. Business people were, from what I heard, very happy because East Market Street was not closed all day, so people could park, people could get to the businesses. So there was an uptick for some of the business people. Overall, I think everybody was very, very pleased. I haven't heard anything negative yet. The only negativity I found was we had asked Santa Claus to please ask the people in the parade not to throw candy out on the streets. Number one concern is, of course, the children scrambling and maybe falling, getting trampled, getting hurt. Number two concern is the cleanup afterwards. And somebody decided to continue to throw candy, and they threw candy canes. And Howie and I were out there picking up candy canes for about an hour after the parade was over. And unfortunately, what happens is that the streets open back up and the cars drive over the top of them. And these little plastic packages with candy canes are ground into the pavement.
We couldn't even eat them.
Yeah.
They were thrown at my kids, they were at the end of the parade.
So I said to Santa Claus, I said, my only gripe this year is that somebody continued to throw candy even though you had told people not to. So I said, put the word out that next year, if I see candy flying through the air, I will find the person and I will pull them out of the parade and I will have the police arrest them. Because, you know, you don't know what it's like having to scrape candy canes up off the blacktop, especially when it's freezing cold out.
Well, one thing that happened, I mean, I was giving candy to the children and putting it in their hands, and they had, you know, love songs, right? And they give them some, and they fall.
So you're one of the culprits.
And they fall, you know, when they
So
are on the street.
all right, so next year you pick a candy cane.
Oh, no, I'm not doing that.
I said I wasn't gonna tell who did it, but
Well, I was standing,
say I drew
I
them,
was
I just
standing,
gave
at
them to
the-
them.
I was standing at the red light, and candy canes came through the air over the crowd, and landed right in front of me. I was at the very back of the crowd. So people were throwing, you know, and if you have to pick them up, you learn real fast that it's not a good idea. Right, Howie?
yeah.
But you did a wonderful job, because
Oh,
I
thank
went by
you.
the next day.
Thank you.
That really makes us feel better.
And I looked at it, and there was nothing on the street anymore.
Thanks.
I said,
Yeah. I feel wonderful because you mentioned that.
Well, empty hot chocolate cups too.
Yeah, that was another suggestion to Pat Sexton from Santa Claus. I says, you know, you really ought to approach these people that sell coffee and hot chocolate and ask them for a hefty donation, because there's thousands of cups. Okay. Anything else? Anybody have any questions on police and court incident report or anything like that? Pretty routine this month. Dog report, we don't have one, right, Pat? Doggy business must be slow. Okay, committee reports, tree commission, Howie?
Okay, everybody got this email to you, the report here? The only thing that I'd like to have approved is the, removal of the trees at 28 and 30 Platt Avenue.
Number 2.
Yeah, number 2 on the agenda here.
It's gonna be the one hydrant.
28 and what?
32.
28 and 30,
Okay.
Five.
yeah, Platt Avenue. It's Hillbrant and Greenall.
Can I have a copy of that report?
Sure. The person said, asked to have it pruned or taken down. We decided to have them taken down because by the time we pruned the trees,
So these 2 trees, Howie, are they big trees, small trees, who's
Big
taking them
trees.
down? We taking them down?
no, we have to bid them out.
How about those other two?
Well, these other 2 trees, which are right down the street, were noticed by people on the tree commission, while they were there looking at these other trees, that they're in very poor shape too. And
Are they big trees too?
yeah, the residents have not filed an application to have them taken down, but I know what you're getting at.
Well,
Take them all down at once, right?
yeah.
Money.
They're all in the parkway, they're all are?
Yeah, they're all in the, I haven't really looked at these 25 and 27, I just looked at the other ones. I'm not looking for trees to take down.
That's why I'm wondering why they said they've not filed an application, so.
Well, they don't have to file an application if they're dead, and they'll just cut them out.
If they're inherent safety risk, we would take them down immediately.
They have not been identified as such, so.
No. So, I'd like to make a motion to have these 2 trees taken down at 28 and 30 Platt Avenue.
Second.
Funding,
We're over budget.
so where's the money coming from? You moving money from somewhere else in the budget?
Within the tree budget?
Yeah.
Well, we have some money in,
Budget-
well,
Budget's already
we're
over.
gonna be over budget, so I don't know what we do then.
So what you need to do is look at your budget for your department and see if there's money somewhere else you can move to offset the over budget.
Well,
We can't just continue to keep spending money.
within the tree department, we don't have enough. We have $10,000 set aside for mulch, and we're gonna have to do that. Not right now, but probably before June 1st, we'll have to make mulch.
So you and I need to sit down and go through the budget and talk about it.
Yeah, we can look at other,
But we can't just continue to spend money without making sure the money's there.
right.
Okay.
So we're gonna table
Nothing
this?
right now. We're gonna table it for now. Okay?
Mhm.
Anything else? I have one thing that I wanted to mention. This is on the 3rd page, number 6, under the plan for the 2014 tree planting.
Right.
The second paragraph, it says, John mentioned that Lindy Wright of 21 Platt Avenue stated a willingness to donate money to a beautification account to purchase annuals. He then suggested that the tree commission ask for donations from homeowners requesting trees. Judy expressed the opinion that residents might find this type of ask off, putting, given that. I can't make sense out of that sentence. But my whole point here is if somebody wants to donate, we have this memorial fund,
Right.
where they can donate. So we've already established that. If somebody wants to donate money for trees, they can.
Mhm.
That's up to them.
Right. Yeah, down here it says, Cecily mentioned that the tree commission started a memorial tree fund. Yes, so we just
Yeah,
steer
somebody
them
wants
towards
to-
that.
Yeah, if somebody
Yeah.
wants to donate money for the tree fund, they can,
Right.
And it's,
Yeah, but that's asking specifically for $300 to get a tree and a plaque. I mean,
yeah,
Doesn't
if they
really
want,
impress
if they
me.
want a memorial tree.
Yeah, they can give $50 for trees in the village, it doesn't
Yeah.
really address that.
That they, something about a beautification account for purchasing annuals. Annuals I wouldn't be in favor of, because that's something we're gonna have to do every year, Perennials would be better, so we don't have to plant it every year.
We do some annuals though.
We do as a village, yeah, like at the parks, the geraniums and things like that.
Right.
But I don't know where they were suggesting these annuals were gonna go.
Maybe at the, I don't know either, but I thought maybe by the hospital there, the little triangle place there.
Some of the stuff that's in there now is perennial already. But anyway, if people wanna make a donation, they can.
And then that's the question we had, what line item would go under?
They could go into the
Tree planting?
tree planting fund.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll let Lindy know.
That's all I got.
We're gonna
I
have,
wouldn't discourage people from making donations,
No.
is what I'm saying.
Are they gonna put little tags on when they plant the tree?
Won't do that.
Put a little thing on the ground next to it says, you know, if you'd like to donate to the,
oh, I see what you're saying.
right on the tree, someone drives by, says, oh, I wonder where that tree came from. Tree commission did.
Well, we do have little placards we put up saying tree commission planted this tree. Doesn't say you can donate on it, but.
Yeah, so donations welcome,
Okay.
you know.
No. And, well, the only other thing is we'll be having our spring planting the first week of April, I believe that is. I don't have the date off the top of my head, but everybody can start getting ready now. Okay? Thank you. We had a little, we had a little celebration last night with the Tree Commission honoring Cecily Frazier. She was actually the first president of the Tree Commission for the last 4 years. The Tree Commission was founded in 2009, was created in 2009 due to the tree law. So I'd like to thank Cecily for her work that she's done over the last 4 years. And John Weschler is going to be the new Tree Commission president. He has some big shoes to fill, John. Thank you.
Okay, is that it?
That's it.
Website, anybody got anything? Finance and controls?
Got the biometric fingerprint thing up, so it's gonna, yeah.
That's having fun with it.
How's it working?
That's Pat.
It doesn't affect my finger.
Which one?
Any finger.
The one that broke or?
It doesn't, no, I'm
Any of
using the hand, it doesn't look at any of my thumb, finger,
That's because you were knitted?
I don't know. But we're working on it. So far, it's come along pretty well. We clock in, we've been doing some tests, clocking in, clocking out. I can see the reports, so it's working, it's working.
I prepared a memo, I just want to confirm with Rich tonight, and we'll send a memo out. What we're asking people to do is continue a manual timesheet in case we have any glitches with the system, until we get the thing up and running. And then once we have a comfort level and it's working okay, then we'll discuss process going forward.
What's the
I
next?
think Pat wants to get started on Friday.
Friday would be the first day of the pay period for the new calendar year.
And you plan to do that parallel for a month or so?
Oh, everybody still needs to keep their manual paper timesheet as well as what we're getting. The system, there's some of the employees that have multiple line items that they get paid from, me being one of them, Karen is another one. And the system right now doesn't have that capability to break down how many hours goes to which line item. So therefore, the timesheet the paper timesheet that the employee fills out will need to be still turned in.
So it just replaces the punch in, punch out. It doesn't,
It's log in, log out, that's it.
it doesn't code your time.
Right, it's accountability for the time of year, when you're here, when you're not here. And then, like, since the support has been great, I've been on the phone with them like
A lot.
six times. It's a work in progress, we're going along pretty well. Thank you, Brand, for all your help on
Thank
getting
you.
that.
Okay. Other business, energy consumption and savings, already did that. Correspondence. We had received a letter on November 21st from the State of New York Department of Public Service, and this is regarding the energy costs and New York State Public Service Commission's Winter Outreach and Education Campaign. So the information is available here at Village Hall if anybody would like to take a look at it. You know, ideas on how you can save money on your energy bills and your lighting costs. And there's a brochure available for your rights and protections and utility service interruptions, natural gas, which we don't deal with here, household electricity use and saving, energy waste, and on-bill financing. So the information is available. I'll give that to you, Pat.
Thank you.
That's the only thing I have for correspondence. I do have the letter that was tabled last month, and it was from our Village Hall employees requesting that we close Village Hall on Thursday, December 26th, the day after Christmas. We had tabled it because we didn't know what the legal ramifications were of that. As it related to a union contract. Even though the employees here are not union, we were worried about a precedent that may set if the union wanted to request a day off. Rich had responded. Everybody got the response, correct?
Yes.
So if we want to take any action on it, we're going to need a motion. And a second, and discussion, and then we will vote.
Go ahead, you first.
I make a motion that we allow the office staff to have the day off after Christmas.
I second it.
Okay, discussion.
Can I say something?
Sure.
I probably will be coming in at some point because that's the end of my billing period. So I have to create my bills and get my bills out. So I think that I should take my name off of that letter because I will be in the Village Hall for at least part of the day. I'd like to take some time, but I would like to, I'll probably do everything.
I'm going to cross your name off this list. What I would like you to do is create something in writing to that effect tomorrow. Okay?
It's just logistically and practicality wise, I just can't.
Okay. Any other discussion?
I'm okay with it. I don't, if it creates a morale problem, I think the morale is a problem before it starts, so if that makes any sense. I don't, there shouldn't be any.
You don't think this will be the trigger?
There shouldn't be envy about this, you know.
I'm usually pretty direct.
Yeah, that's,
But the Village Hall will still remain closed even though Pat would be here.
Correct.
Right.
well,
It's not going to be fair for Pat to be here by herself
And
and
have people come in.
people coming in and out of Village Hall and her having to be the planning and zoning clerk and
It
the
wouldn't
village
be-
clerk and the,
But it wouldn't be the first time I've been here alone.
no. but
Right, so you just
Still.
lock the door or something.
If everybody else is requesting the day off and that the hall be closed, the hall's going to be closed.
It's gotta be closed.
You can come in and work. How are you going to get your bills done if you're running back and forth across the hallway and answering the telephone and all of that kind of stuff? You know?
Okay.
So, it's not fair to you. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. Any other correspondence anybody has?
The bicycle boulevards, did you want to talk about that? I was going to read a paragraph from it, I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they're looking perhaps to do a test project, and, you know, like I said, be perfectly willing to listen. You know, I think we as a board have been committed to improving the walkability and the pedestrian usage and the biking in the community. So if they want to do a test project in Rhinebeck, I'd welcome it. You know, but I want to hear what it's about first, and see if there's any responsibility on our part.
So the plan, the senior planner at the Poughkeepsie Dutchess County Transportation Council is putting together a bikeability plan, I guess, between Red Hook and Rhinebeck via the town of Rhinebeck. So that's interesting. They're really good.
particularly with those.
Emily's gonna, she'll fill us in when she has more information. I've been participating, took part in a couple of meetings, with the Bike and Pedestrian Council, but most of the time I can't go to the ones down in Poughkeepsie. And they've been doing surveys too of people at the intersections, using the crosswalks and people that bike, those kinds of things. So it's been going on during the summer. They're not doing it now, of course. Anything else?
Did you guys get this?
Yeah, we've got it. That's something Lisa was dealing with.
Okay.
And we haven't gone anywhere else with it yet.
What's the utility billing?
That's
That's what?
I think that's from me.
That was from you?
I think so.
Yes.
It's a new one.
It's from me, right?
I haven't read that yet. Well, they're coming to do an exit meeting with us, so I'm sure this is part of the exit meeting discussion.
Okay, I don't know, I got the email today.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, I just got it today. I haven't had a chance to read it yet. Speaking of that, they are coming, Chrissy called me today. Next Thursday, I think it is, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
next Thursday, to finally do the exit. What this is all about is the comptroller's office had done a risk assessment earlier in the year, and based on their findings during the risk assessment, they came in and they did an audit of our water department and wastewater department, and they are coming now. They didn't find any major problems. There was a couple of things we had to address as far as receipts and things like that, but they're coming to do the exit interview. They originally said it would happen at the end of August, so I guess they're not real mad at us because they're coming finally here in December, and they're gonna do the exit meeting with us next week, next Thursday morning, 9 o'clock.
Then we have 90 days to come up with.
And then, yeah, we have to, whatever their findings are, we have to respond to, and as I said, some of the things we've already addressed, so we're in good shape. Anything else? Water and sewer adjustment.
That came from me.
Okay.
There's a capability.
Okay, water and sewer adjustments. We had 10 new owners, 25 each. We had 8 roof garden tap fees. And we had one meter reading error, where we had one too many zeros in there, and Pat called it real quick, and it was in the system already, so we had to adjust it in the system. There was no change to the owner. We had also replaced that particular meter. We had an error in the final billing. It was done in error. It was too late. We have 2 items for village property that we don't charge. And in one case, I removed 2 cases. I removed the penalty. One of them had to do with a user who essentially was like 1 day off when the check came in from our cutoff date. The other one had to do with where a user had a significant amount of water usage, like over $2,000 worth, and mainly caused by some kind of a leak. He disputed the leak, and he made us change the meters, and then we took the meter that we took out. We had it tested by a testing lab, and the meter tested fine. But during that time, I was in Europe, and so a month passed, and there was a $165 late fee, which I waived because I couldn't respond in time. But they paid for the testing. It was a $62 testing, so they paid for that. We have 8 closeouts, and a closeout is a final bill is when one house gets sold, and just like on the oil bill, we take a reading at the sale, and then send it to the final bill. We had 9 of these. One item was $13 honest, was overestimated, and we now put a new meter in there as well. We have done so that I make a motion to accept the water rates as stated, the water adjustments as stated.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted.
So I've got, for sewer, I've got 8 gardens tap fees of $750 apiece, 5 new owners, $25 fee for new owners. But there's one that says $26, Pat, did you notice?
Oh, that's a typo, sorry,
Yeah,
it's
it's
25.
And then I have 5 closeouts, $33.23, $158.26, $248.80, $142.43, and $162.28. And that's all I have.
Motion?
I'd like to make a motion to adjust these as read.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. And we do not have any minutes to approve this evening. Vouchers are downstairs. Pat needs at least 3 signatures on those by the close of business tomorrow so that she can do them on Thursday.
She's got a minute to.
And I'll be here in the morning, so I can sign something. Okay.
One thing is I have somebody, when you look at the water department sign, I don't sign the department head because I have $60 worth of travel expenses, so some of you guys has to sign in the department area, okay?
I realize I neglected under planning and zoning to talk about the assessors issue across the street in Town Hall, so I'll talk about that now. As I mentioned before, we attended the town board meeting last night. Heinz was there, Howie was there, I was there, and the public hearing continued on the idea of changing the assessor's position from 3 elected to 1 appointed. Quite frankly, I was very surprised because once again last night we were not provided with any information from the town board as to why they want to make this change. Basically, people got up and spoke and posed questions, but we got no answers. There were some people that spoke in favor of it, making the change. But again, there was no input whatsoever from the town board as to the reason for this change. And it's going to be continued again on the 23rd of December.
They are on a timeline, where they think from the state they have to do it by the end of the year. So they either have to do something or.
Why do they have to do it by the end of the year?
I think they appoint the assessors every 6 years, and it's the 31st or the 1st of January, the 31st of December that this has to be done, so they got to figure out if they want to go or no go within the next two weeks.
But they can talk about it again next year, can't they? Or
Yeah,
they-
It doesn't have to be done.
Right.
But if they want to put it in place, they would have to do it at the next meeting. So, we'll see what happens. Quite frankly, I don't understand why there's no information available as to what the reason, for where, why, and how, and all of this was. I'm not on the town board. Anything else? Okay, I need a motion to go to executive session for personnel matters.
I make a motion to go to executive session for personnel matters.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So voted. Good? Okay, I need a motion to adjourn executive session, please.
Make a motion to adjourn the executive session.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. And I need a motion to adjourn.
I'd like to make a
Motion to adjourn.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. Thank you all.